Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Just trying to get myself together. Hope everybody's doing wonderful tonight. Just setting up, getting ready. Um, do have a guest coming on tonight. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things, and anybody that would like to join in, you are welcome to let me know, and we will send you a link that you may join in with us tonight. I'm just excited tonight, and not won't be long. It all depends on how everything goes. But a couple of things that we want to share and talk about tonight. Uh, while I'm waiting on my guests to come on, I just want to share some things. I'll make a couple of announcements at first, and then we can to come on. Then we'll go from there. Um, so as I'm waiting, on this Friday we will be doing the Wisconsin Revival Rally right here in Milwaukee, downtown Milwaukee is where we will be. 790 North Milwaukee Street, 790 North Milwaukee Street. We have parking for you guys, kitty corner from the building. Come to the building. We'll guide you over to the parking structure. We will be able to guide you guys there. The parking is $5. We have security for those that might be worried about Milwaukee. We got security for you. We got some fabulous speakers that's going to be speaking this Friday at the rally on Friday. So we're going to let me just share with you guys some of the speakers that's going to be speaking on Friday. We have my lovely sister in the Lord, Ruth. And Ruth is part of Faith, Family, and Freedom. She will be speaking. My other sister in the Lord, Andrea from Wolf, will be speaking. Pastor Jason Storm, Pastor Roger Frybart, my brother Tracy from the Dark Horse, my brother Jody from Airlines Employees for Health Freedom will be speaking, and we have the awesome Destiny Hill House will be speaking. So we want you guys to come on out and join us on Friday. The doors open up at 5:00. We're starting at 6. So we want you guys to come on out and join us for the rally. And then on the 9th, we will be at Baker Street Restaurant on Green Bay Road in Kenosha. And so I'm waiting on my guests, but we're going to start talking because there's a lot of things that we need to talk about. And I would love for you guys to give your input on some of the stuff that's going on. I mean, and it's a lot of different things going on, and I would love to hear you guys. Okay, my guest says give him a few minutes and he'll be on. But and so we're going to talk about a couple of things. And for those who don't know, there's some stuff going on when it comes to the endorsements that's going on, and so there's rumors going around. I know one county had already said it that if they want candidates statewide candidates to sign a pledge that says if you do not receive the party endorsement at the convention in May, they want you to counsel. They want you to sign a pledge that you would counsel or stop your campaign and not run for that office if you don't get the party's endorsement. And you have some uh, candidates that said they will not sign it. Um, you got some that says they will sign it. And so for me, my question is, um, why would someone sign that? Why would somebody want to sign that? Why would somebody who spent months on top of months traveling the state of Wisconsin, speaking to voters across the state, and then all of a sudden decide that they're not going to finish the race? They're going to drop out of the race because of the fact that the party itself did they didn't get the party's endorsement that you should cancel your race. Um, for those that know me, I said no, I will not sign it. I said no, I will not sign it. Hey, brother James, it's good to see you, sir. Um, I'm a lion. I'm not a sheep. So no, I will not sign it. I did say that whoever wins the primary, if they beat me, I will support them after August. But I will not bow down. My last name King. We're not no quitters. So I will not bow down at all and come out of the race. I don't believe in that. Um, I think a lot of times we're out of touch and we're not pushing the agenda of the people. I think we're pushing a different agenda. So and I have a problem, and I'll just be honest with you guys tonight because y'all know me. I never tell you what you want to hear. I will tell you what I feel you need to hear because that's just who I am. I've seen some things happen where people say you go to them and you talk to them and they tell you, "Oh, I'm neutral until after the primary," and we already know that they're not because evidence is showing that they're not neutral, that they are helping actually a couple of candidates. So when you have stuff like that going on, you got to be very careful because the ultimate goal is to make Tony Evers a one-term governor. That's the ultimate goal. But the people should choose who they want to represent them. That's why you have primaries. People should be able to say, I want this person to represent me. But, at the same time, if your candidate don't win the primary, the goal still stays the same. The goal still stays the same. The goal still is for uh, Evers to be a one-term governor. That is the ultimate goal, and we need to look at it like that, and we need to accept that. But we need to come together. We need to be unified in order to make that happen. But the reality of it is this: you got people you got people that's part of the party who already pick who they want, and that's fine. But that's not who all the people want. So we have to make sure we look at it and see what the people want. I'm one of those that I believe that the power is not in the hands of the politicians, but the power is in the hands of the people. And I believe that the people should decide who they want to represent them, and they should decide uh, um, who they want to represent them, but they also should be able to um, have a fair and clean election, an honest election. Uh, and so I'm one that believes that people should, the people, not a party, but the people should be able to pick who they want to represent, who they want to uh, as the next governor, the next lieutenant governor, next mayor. Doesn't matter what it is, but I believe that the people should be able to pick that individual. So you guys, I got a guest coming on, and it's gonna get juicy. It's gonna get good. We're gonna be talking about a lot of different things, and one of the things that I want to say is we cannot lose focus. We have to stay focused. We got to learn how to come as one and be unified. I say it all the time. We got to stop putting sheeps in office, and we need to put lions in office so the lions will really represent the people. We got too many people hurting, and we got too many people getting rich off the people paying, and we need to stop all of that. You got families that's dealing with fighting for rights in the schools, trying to get certain books out of the school library. Now, you know some of those books that's are in the school library um, is really pornography, and if a parent had that book or something, I really believe that they would try to get them for child pornography and to have it in the school, to the fact that when the parents start reading paragraphs out of the book, the school board don't even want to hear those words, but they got those books in the school. So we got a lot to come up with and deal with. We got a lot to that we as a people need to wake up. Milwaukee, we definitely need to wake up. There's so much going on in Milwaukee. Um, uh, Still haven't gotten anything. Um, Still haven't got what we needed to survive in Milwaukee, to be successful in Milwaukee. Our children is graduating, can't read, not prepared for life, not prepared to go into the workforce, not prepared to go to college, not prepared for anything. And so we have to fix that. We have to get to a place where we're allowing our children to dream again and that they can have better. So when we look at everything that's going on in the city of Milwaukee, and I said it on my Think About It Tuesday, that we have yesterday we had Souls to the Polls, we had Micah, we had the NAACP, we had the Wisconsin Baptist Convention, we had Jesse Jackson, and a whole bunch of others in town. In town yesterday, talking about uh, stop, stop tax and take on churches, and we had a lot of people. I saw a lot of people downtown Milwaukee, and everything. But my problem with that was we get all these killings, and we never have a crowd like that we had yesterday. We have a lot of killings in Milwaukee. We have our children education. They dumbing our children down left and right, just dumbing them down. They claim they ain't got no money for the kids' education, but they're getting about $15,000 a child. They're getting $15,000 a child. And in one classroom, you got 25 kids. That's $375,000. And they're telling us they ain't got enough money for our kids. That's a bunch of crap. But we don't have those same people that went downtown to make noise yesterday about a building, but not about lives and about souls. So I had a problem with that. And so, you can get Jesse Jackson to come to Milwaukee about a building, but you can't get him here about our kids' education. You can't get him here about the living condition. You can't get him here about the lead in the water. You can't get him here about the murders that's going on, but we can get him here about a building. So I have a problem with that, and I know other people might not have a problem with that. And other people, you're welcome to comment. And this is what this is all about. We just gonna talk about a little everything. And I thank God for my brother in the house, my Carmen conservative brother. How you doing?
What's good, man? What's good? How you living, man?
Oh man, I'm living, man, and I'm just sharing how I feel right now until I was waiting on you to get here because I know when we get to talking, emotion's going to really go to left, right, up, down.
Yeah, apparently I have like this knack for like, no, man, you're my brother, but I'm about to piss you off. I just kind of have this knack for like hitting you up on both sides. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but
Hey,
things are
long
kind of
as
what they are.
I say it like this: long as it's the truth, I'm okay with it. If it ain't the truth, then I got a problem.
Yeah. The moment doesn't, we're not keeping it real though. Yeah, we got a bit of a problem. I'm trying to find a way to share this here. Come
Oh,
on.
are you on your Facebook page?
Yeah,
Then go to either my personal page or go to my King
the
for Lieutenant
campaign.
Governor page, and you should be able to share it. And you can also, if you hit at, you can tag a person too.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me throw that one more time here. I just had to copy the link. Normally, there's like an arrow to show you how to do it, just to throw it out there. But for whatever reason, it didn't want to play nice. And you know what? That's okay. We don't want to play nice. Fine. It's all good. All right. Let's see.
Yeah, because I just shared it with my team page. So yeah, so it's sharing.
There we go. King for Lieutenant Governor, for
Yes.
Wisconsin Lieutenant Governor, public group. There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay. And then just you should be able to share it then.
Perfect. Perfect. We got this here. Got to get the tags up there, right, too. So, how you doing, man?
Man,
Had a
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm just sharing how I feel about certain things that took place in Milwaukee yesterday, and I had a problem with what I saw yesterday, so I was just sharing my thoughts.
So explain this to me. And I was talking about this yesterday on my podcast. So between 5:30 p.m. Wednesday night up until 5:30 a.m. Saturday morning, there was a shooting once every 5 hours. 12 people were shot, 3 killed, 1 in serious condition right now. For the life of me, I don't know why anybody still lives in that city. I don't get it.
Well, I believe that some of us still believe in the city, and we know it's worth fighting for. Um, but my problem, like I said, was they went down to City Hall and they began to protest about some churches that been taxed and was taken,
Hmm.
and so they did this big thing called Stop Tax and Take of the churches. My problem with that was, like you just said, all these people that's dying, all these people that are being shot, our children education suck. All right.
Yep.
Our children are behind in education. Poor education right now. Um, but no, that crowd wasn't there for our children. The crowd was there for a building. Okay. And they even brought in Jesse Jackson.
Jesse
Uh,
was here.
yeah, Jesse was here.
Oh man, I thought he'd be down there in Chicago supporting Juicy Smouye.
But yeah, he was here. And so, so my thing is, why put all that energy in for a building and not for the souls and not for the lives of the people, that these families are now hurting because of the murders, the death. And it's not to me it didn't make sense, for a building and not for the lives of those people, that was lost, you know. And so I just had a problem with that. And
Yeah.
maybe it's just me, but I just had a serious problem with that.
Well, I think, unfortunately for race baiters and poverty pimps like Jesse Jackson, you know, if it's not salacious enough, if you can't create a boogeyman, then he ain't got no business there. He doesn't really give a damn about the black on black crime, about the Hispanic on Hispanic crime. Hell, he doesn't even give a damn about white on white crime for that matter. Uh, and it's really sad because with the influence that this guy has, him and others like him, could you possibly do things to change the culture of inner cities like Milwaukee and Oakland and St. Louis? All these places where their murders annually are going up. And I mean, and it's sad when you actually look at midpoint in the year, you're like, man, we're on pace to beat the record from last year. That's not something to be proud of. I remember Milwaukee in its heyday. Man, beautiful. Downtown, Grand Avenue Mall, Southridge Mall, Northridge Mall. I mean, I remember all of that. And it was safe to walk even at night for the most part. Not anymore. Hasn't been like that for a long time. And I get what you're saying. You still believe in it. But I got to a point where to me, it was like polishing brass on the Titanic. It's like, why? It's all going down. And I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but I couldn't do it no more.
Well, maybe it's because we need to change the guards. We got to change the guards. We got to change who in charge because
Mhm.
everything reflects leadership. Everything, and that's just bottom line. Whoever's the leader, you'll know if they're a good leader or a bad leader. Everything reflects leadership, and so one of the things I used to do when I train managers or go in to fix a store or whatever, I would take the manager outside and say, look, let's look inside. Because whatever you are, that's what they portray.
Right.
So when we look and we look at leadership, the leadership checked out of Milwaukee a long time ago. They're not really concerned about Milwaukee. They're concerned about their pockets. They're not
Yeah.
concerned about the lives of the people because they're not standing up. Now, a lot of them want to talk now because why? It's election time.
Right.
Tom Barrett is getting ready to get a promotion for killing Milwaukee by going to Lindenberg. So, they're giving him a promotion. You did a great job. You killed Milwaukee like Detroit was. Good job. So the thing about that is, when you look at it is he checked out a long time ago. The only thing he talks about now is trying to sucker people into taking the shot.
Well, and I saw him. Apparently, they had a YouTube news conference or something. There was him, some young lady who is asking questions from the chat audience, and it was funny because I'm watching this via YouTube, and what cracked me up was if you looked on YouTube, it was completely ratioed. Like there was not one positive comment for the mayor or anyone else on there. They were just pushing this whole narrative about how the Omicron variant is going to kill us all, and they're issuing a mask advisory. And it's like, okay, think this through, people. If this is as bad as you say that it is, one, what's your little cloth mask going to do? Two, why is it an advisory? Why don't you just make people do it? I mean, I know it's illegal to make people do things, but if it's that important, if you really care. But instead, you sit there, you go on these live streams, you give empty platitudes, and like I said, it's funny. I don't know where the questions were coming from, but it wasn't from that chat audience on YouTube.
Right. And the problem I have is if you're gonna put it out there for families to make a decision, put everything out there. Put both sides out there. Put all the information out there and let a family make that decision for themselves. If they want to wear the mask, if they don't want to wear the mask, if they want to take the shot, if they don't want to take the shot.
Right.
But the thing about it is, and we can't really talk vaccine because I get kicked off of YouTube again. But
Sure. I got to be careful on my end. I know.
Yeah, but the point we're trying to make is we're giving people false information or misleading them with information that they can't make a proper decision for their families.
Right.
And so, the other thing, and we can go there now. We can come off Milwaukee for a minute because I do want to talk to you about something that I just mentioned before you got on, about how no matter how people are doing, especially in the primary that's going on right now, we got to remember one thing. The number one goal is to make Tony Evers a one-term governor. And so with everything that's going on with the pledge and the, as people say, undermining or whatever, not undermining, the stabbing in the back, we still, at the end of the day, we still have to make him a one-term governor. We still got to make sure that the people keep their freedom and restore parents' right back to parents. At the end of the day, we still got to do that. So we can't destroy ourselves.
But I think that's the route we're going.
Yes. Go ahead and let's talk about that.
So, I mean, let's just take the endorsement process, primary process, and I'm going to oversimplify it. So basically, think of the Republican Party as a club. That's the most simple analogy. And in the endorsement process, it's the members of the club that are voting for who's going to represent them. Whereas you move forward with the primary, it is everybody. It is people in the club, out of the club, don't really know about the club. Everybody can vote. That's the whole thing. Of course, there are rules, and there's a little more nuance to that because obviously, if you're voting in one party's primary, you can't vote in another party's primary. But I think the problem that we're seeing here is, one, you got one county, and that was Eau Claire. They put out this unity pledge. The idea that, hey, whoever wins the endorsement, this is who we want to back. And, everyone else, we're encouraging you to drop out, back this person, so that way they could just get to work on Democrats. Makes sense. But, and I heard a little bit of what you were saying earlier, to your point. It's like, okay, you put in all this work and then you're going to just drop out at that point. Okay. It is within the candidate's right to go forward with the primary to, bypass the endorsement for sure. But even though it might be somebody's right, I think there's some things that aren't being talked about, like consequences of actions. Because for some people, and I think some people don't care, it would be political suicide. What hope do you have to run for another office again, backed by the RNC? For other people, it's like, no, I believe in what I'm doing so much. It is a conviction issue. Totally understand that one too. And I think for people that are going to sign the pledge or that are going to say, hey, I'm going with the endorsement process, it makes sense if you have future political aspirations. If you want to be recognized by the party later on, if you want to run for another office into the future, because these were the rules that have been set forth, and they've been the same since 2009, if I understand correctly. So I understand that, and I get both sides of the argument. The problem is, I think you have so many people that are, one, misframing the endorsement process, and it makes it look like you're tearing each other apart at this point. Like, yeah. Nobody's talking about unity up until I think last night you started talking about it, and I think one or two other people started talking about it at some point.
Well, see, the thing,
but are we too far gone for that?
I don't think we're too far gone. I think we can still mend what's going on and bring them together. But I have another problem with that, because I was talking to somebody who believed in that process and says, well, the party should pick who they want to represent them. And then I said to him, but are we just representing the party, or are we also representing those that believe in the values of the party? Because here's the thing that you have to say. And I said this to him: why don't you tell those people, okay, those people that don't want to be a paid member of the party, not to vote for the party, if you're saying the party is going to pick, then the party shouldn't want the votes for those that are not paid members then. And he was like, well, no, 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 you can't have it both ways, because you got a lot of people that probably would never, because the condition of the party right now, the way it is right now, people don't want to be paid members, okay? But they will still support a Republican in a race.
Mhm.
They don't want to be a paid member, but they will support. All right, let's do it that way. So those people that decide not to be a paid member, you're telling them that you're going to choose for them who you want to represent them, so they really don't have a say so in that.
Let me give you a flip side on that. Because as conservatives, we're supposed to be the party of personal responsibility. Like, for example, I just lit this smoky treat. I know it's bad for me. I know that it's not good for my cardio, but I enjoy it. And I enjoy it because it's a bad habit, it's vice, whatever. I can give you a list of reasons. If you believe in something and you choose not to do it, or you choose to do it, that is on you. You
Right.
see, I choose to do this. If I chose not to smoke, then I would make that choice too. For every individual that says, well, I don't want to pay the $30, that's your fault. You mean to tell me you don't have $30 laying around? And I guarantee you, most of those people, they got some kind of vice, they got some kind of bad habit that they spend money on. You can't spend $30 to join your county party. And by the way, that person you're speaking about, as far as, who doesn't want to join the county parties or anything, that's me. I'm the first one to tell you that. That's me. Like, I look at the Republican Party generally as a weak, feckless, pathetic group, and it is club, and it's who you know, which I get it. That's politics, that's business, that's all that other stuff. But the fact is that if you gave a damn about who is in charge, because there's this line of poppycock that's out there right now. It's selected, not elected. It's like, genius. Do you realize that the delegates are electing the person within that party in the endorsement process? So when I hear people say that, it's like you are speaking out of an area of such a lack of intelligence that it kills me. There is an election process there. It is just within the club.
Right.
So the onus now is on the people. And I do not want to give them a scapegoat, a way out, or anything else like that, because it's so easy to say, well, I just don't believe in it. Well, you know what? I'm not a fan of it either.
Right.
But I'm going to shell out $30.
Let me say this, because here's the thing, though. And you said it right. The club. If you're not part of the club, now watch this. This is your son.
See, what is my son? But you make it stronger and be the leadership you long for. That's why I'm here, and I put in the work, and it isn't all that hard, and that's true.
But wait. I put that up there for a reason. The club. Come on, Ed. Where we come from, you know your seniority. You got to kiss the ring. You got to be part of the clique. You got to wait your turn. You got to do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time your turn comes, you might be in the grave. They're not going to let nobody come in and say, oh, we're going to change. No, you ain't even been here long enough. You don't even have the right. And you and I both Ed heard it's my turn. Where you get it's your turn from?
Well, and that's one of the things that I've long hated. The whole next in line bit. Hey, I was lieutenant governor, so I'm going to run. This isn't reflecting on Clayfish directly, but that was one of my criticisms of her. I'm not a fan of that. But if she's the right person, then she's the right person. And I would say that for anybody, whether they were a former lieutenant governor or whatever positions they had.
Right. If a person is the right person, that's one thing. But when you start talking about it ain't your turn. It ain't your time. It ain't your season. I thought we lived in America. And I thought that everybody has, if anybody that says, you know what, I want to be a part of the due process. I want to run for office. I want to help make a change in our country. They all should have that right, you know.
And they do.
And so, you know, and so for me, you know, I'm not going to sit around. I don't have time to sit around to do inside fights and nothing get changed. And we steady losing our freedom, and we steady losing our rights as parents, and the economy is still not moving the way it should be moving. I don't have time for those fights and say, okay, you're right. I'm just going to sit in this sandbox and play fair. No, I'm kicking sand. I might throw my shovel. I'm going to be that third monkey that's trying to get on the ark. I'm going to be that lion that roar. I'm not going to let you tell me that I got to wait my turn. My turn is now, the moment I decided to run. That's my turn.
Yeah, and I certainly agree with that sentiment. But again, it goes back to what I said. If one wants to go ahead and continue to run, I think there's consequences with that. I mean, it's a gamble. It's like anytime I go to a casino, you know, I drop some money on there. I got the chance to make some money. I also got the chance to lose everything if it lands on red or black or whatever the opposite of what I landed on is. It's a gamble. And not everybody's going to be able to survive that gamble. You know, uh, you take a look at your particular race. You got a lot of people in there. What is it? 6, 7 people now? 6 people. I mean, just statistically, the chances of anybody getting to 60% is very, very small at this point.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's almost a foregone conclusion that it has to go into a primary, you know, because I doubt you're going to get the 60%, you know, once you get to the convention, you know. So when you start having those arguments all the way across the board, I get it. You know, I'm not signing anything. The chances of us having to actually get to 60, it ain't happening. So no, don't count on me on doing this. But this does raise some issues about hard feelings that I think people are going to have against one another. You know, and I do have concerns. Are there going to be people that are going to be like, well, my candidate didn't win, or my candidate got edged out, or my candidate this, whatever, and they're going to take their toys, go home, and not vote? My biggest fear in the 2022 election is that there's going to be a red wave across this country because everything that Biden and every other Democrat's done, and Wisconsin's going to miss the boat. That would really suck to be the third monkey.
Again, it goes back, Ed, to leadership. If you're a real leader, and like I said, the common goal is making Tony Evers a one-term governor. That's the common goal, okay? And so as a leader, you know, it's just like you was in the Marines. But have you ever been on a Navy ship?
I have.
Right? And when you guys had to go together, it was brothers. It wasn't Navy Marine. It was brothers, right?
Oh, we joked the hell out of them, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, you do that, but you got one common goal, right? To protect the country. Yeah. So when we in this primary, you know, to so much it's been respectful. You know, we said that you got a lot of good candidates. I will back anybody that come out the primary, but I do got to say, but I am your next lieutenant governor. So, you know, I will back anybody, but I am your next lieutenant governor. And the thing about it is, I would tell everybody that support me, let's keep the vision going. Let's push the next person. Let's get Tony Evers out of there. I wouldn't have that problem because I made it all the way to the end. And the great thing about it is, nobody ever came to me and asked me would I sign that pledge. Now, some questions came up from other counties.
Sure.
Asking, will I sign that pledge? And I told them, no, I would not do that. I didn't get in this race to sign the pledge to say halfway through the race I'm gonna sit down. No, that I didn't do. But what I do understand is we have to learn to stay unified. We have to learn to stay strong and put the goal. I tell people all the time, the primary is nothing but the preseason.
Well, and I think you're right about that, but I think the unity part's starting to get a little more difficult because I mean, let's just take the top of the ticket, the governor's race. Currently we've got what, three declared candidates?
I think it's four.
It's four. I know there's like some kid out there who's actually made an official declaration. It was like kind of crazy. Kid's like 14, 15 years old. You got to look
Oh,
him up.
really?
It's a real trip.
Well, I
Uh,
know Adam Fisher,
yep.
Jonathan, and Rebecca.
Yep, those 3 for sure. Um, but, I'm looking at and it's not even back and forth, but and I'll drop Jonathan because he's posting out the pictures and the memes and everything else like that, and it's just, wow, kinda vicious, and I get it. You wanna try to go after your opponent to make them look weak or to make you to expose certain things, but I think there comes a point where it's like, "Wow, is that all you got?" I mean, like, what are you really offering? Is it just attack after attack after attack? And I think what ends up happening is that that group of people, if Rebecca wins the primary, those people won't support her because they'll be so invested already into their candidate. It's become more about the person than it's become about the cause. So I have to question whether or not unity is possible. And this is one of those areas where, again, like many, I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. If I'm wrong, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
you know what? But Ed, it goes on both sides. It goes to both sides because we're talking about, like you said, we're talking about a party that I use your words, that's weak.
yep,
I mean, spineless, and that's what you say.
yep. Weak,
Okay, so
spineless, feckless.
so what? So let's flip the coin and let's say Jonathan win. Will the party get behind him to get rid of Evers,
I think it has no choice.
or
And
or do
on
they or do they accept another 4 years of Evers because they didn't get their way?
see, and that's the thing. Anybody who's willing to go scorched earth to because they didn't win or, whatever else, because they weren't the person up there. If we can't back that person, then that person eh, doesn't deserve a political future.
Right,
That person, I mean, again, scorched earth on anybody who doesn't accept the primary and
right,
try to galvanize their people to back that candidate.
right. And for example, and you see it, you and I see it on both sides, right? We
Mhm.
see it with those that individuals and in the group they got, and then you got the party with the group they got, right? So, well, Geraldo, I don't believe that because let me explain to you what I'm saying. The party tells the candidates we're going to stay neutral until after the primary, right? That's what the party says. But then individual says, even Geraldo says, because he's backing Donovan for the race, a nonpartisan race. I said, well, you work for the party. How you jumping in a nonpartisan race? Oh, I'm doing that on my off time. So now the people with the party, they use loopholes to say, oh, I'm just doing it. No, no, no. If you're going to say we're going to be neutral until the primary is over, then stay neutral, stay out of the way. Don't be helping nobody fundraise. Don't help nobody.
But let's
Stay
be honest
neutral.
about this. Let's be honest about this. Hilario was doing that with Donovan before he was hired on by the party.
No, 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 no. I know that. But what I'm saying is this. Now you are a paid party person, okay? So do you back away or do you keep going? Because if you keep going and let me see, you use my free time. Okay, so you're using free time. That's one of those loopholes. Or let's say elected official who's helping another elected official go for a different office. But the loophole is that's our free time. But the party says, "Oh, we're going to stay neutral." So what part of the party stays neutral?
I think there's two different things that we're looking at here. I think for an individual like Hilario, you certainly do have your off time. You certainly do have, time when you're on the clock, off the clock. When you're an elected official, though, there's really no such thing as off the clock. You're a representative, you're a senator 24/7. You're a governor 24/7. You don't get the luxury of saying, you know what, if there's a disaster, well, you know what, it's 6:30 and it's time for me to have din. So the riot's gonna have to wait.
Right.
You don't have that luxury.
Let me stop you. Let me stop you real quick. Hilario, I just use you as an example. I know what you're doing. I just use you as an example because we was talking about the party being neutral. So don't get in your feelings yet, or I'm gonna send Daddy over there to you. But I just use you as an example. I'm not saying what you're doing. I'm not saying you're using party resource. So that's not what we're saying right now. We're just talking about loopholes that one side is using. So when other people see that, right, that is not getting those advantage of loopholes, then they're saying that's where you get the word establishment coming from. That's where you get the what's that one you just used?
No, which
Select
one?
something.
Oh, that's selected, not elected, or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So those is where you're getting these things when you see these loopholes, quote unquote, as they're using. Not you, Ilario. So we're not talking about you now. But
I'm gonna talk about him.
Okay, Ed's talking about you. But the thing that we're saying is you see it on both sides. So that's why I asked you that question. Will that side, because they hearing the bashing, and both what's going on right now is discord, right? So you wondering, can we heal from the discord? And you got the discord on both sides. So and you have seen, and I have seen where certain people will not support. What's the gentleman name that ran against Scott Walker? God, I can't think of his name. He ran against Scott Walker in 2010 in the primary.
Oh my God.
God,
I got to look this up.
He helped started Hope School. He helped start Hope School. He ran in the primary. I'm trying to think of that. What's his name? Oh my God!
I got to go to Ballotpedia here.
Well, find it for me real quick because I want to share something that happened at the convention in downtown Milwaukee. Okay.
Convention in Milwaukee. That just sounds like a bad idea. Like, and it's not so much the crime either. It's like, dude, there's way too many bars, way too many clubs. Like, it's just not a good idea.
I'm trying to think of it. God, what is his name?
I'm gonna get that name. All right.
He was in the primary against Walker in 2010 for the 2010 election.
All right. We're in, what year are we in here? 2016, 14, 12, 10. Okay. We got the general primaries. No, this isn't primaries. It goes to the Milwaukee County Executive. It was him and Lena Taylor. Ballotpedia is usually really good with like telling you about who the primaries were and all that. All right, let's go. Ballotpedia is slipping over here.
It was the 2010 primary. I'm trying to think of his
2010
name.
Republican primary. You know what? I'm going to find the name and everyone's going to be like, oh.
I'm trying to think of his name. Because I know he helped with started Hope Schools.
All right. Let's see. Guess I need to add the word Wisconsin. That would really help. I'm getting like Texas and everything but Wisconsin. All right. 2010. Gubernatorial, Wisconsin. Tom Barrett. Okay. It's not who I want. I need the primaries. All right. There we go. Republican primaries. So we had Mark Newman.
Mark Newman. There it
Mark
is.
Newman. That's what it was. See, I told you we'd all be like, yeah.
Yeah. Mark Newman. When Mark Newman, he was campaigning outside at the convention.
Can you do that? Like outside the convention?
He wasn't allowed in.
Well, that's not cool.
Yeah, so so a lot of people was upset because a lot of people at the time supported Mark Newman. I don't know, I don't know the whole story of what went down or whatever, but I know he had to do it outside. He had to campaign
I
out.
remember that now that you mention it.
Yeah. So this is what the things that I'm talking about. It ain't just, this is not new. It's just something that's been going on and nobody really said anything about it. But I remember Mark Newman was going through. He went through a lot because he was not the pick.
Was it that he was not the pick or he didn't have the support?
He had support. It was a lot of people outside waiting campaigning.
But was it the delegates? And again, this is always one of those things where when people are like, well, we can't have the party selected, and it's like, it's the Republican Party. It's in the name. Like, if you wanted to be a part of the party, part of the club, join the club. It's kind of simple. So I gotta
Oh, let
wonder,
me,
what if he's trying to run from the outside?
okay,
Was he
let me
trying
put
to?
you on the group. Let me see.
Yep,
Somebody said they can't. Somebody trying to get in the group. So go ahead and
Shannon.
talk while I go into the group and let them in.
Let's see what do we got here. So I don't, what I said was you said he was running from the outside. So I mean, was he running, for delegates? Was he running for, to try to get a popular vote? You know, that's what I don't necessarily know.
And I don't know that either. I just remember the ugly. It was ugly. It was really ugly. And so to need to be Shannon. I was trying to approve. I don't see you. I don't see you asking. Did you ask to join the group?
Oh, you know what she's trying to do? I
Well,
bet she's trying to ask via Facebook.
yeah. If she goes into King for Wisconsin Lieutenant Governor, then she can comment. I
Right. She
know
can
she.
comment, but she can't get, if she's looking to try to join in the chat or into the conversation here. I don't necessarily. Well, let's
No,
retry
I
something.
got her. I got her remarks. That's her remark right there.
Yeah.
So I
So
got her.
she's,
So
yeah, because
I thought she was trying to join the group, but
no, she's in the group there. So it's one of those things like if you want to try to join a conversation like a live on the video and the live feed, usually if you're streaming directly via Facebook Live, you can do that request. But if you're
right.
streaming through a third party intermediary like StreamYard, you're not going to see that.
Oh, okay, because I can see her remarks. So,
Mm-hmm.
so what I'm saying is, yeah, it got ugly. It was ugly, and so I don't want that to happen this time because this is too much at stake right now. We need to be unified. We need to say, okay, let's do what we do. See you in August. If you win, I got you. I got your back. I'll bring my support, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make him a one-time governor.
Right.
I mean, those are the things that I see should happen. And I saw a lot of, even in 2010, I saw a lot of lieutenant governor candidates make it into the cabinet of the of Walker that
Right.
didn't win the primary.
But oftentimes you see stuff like that too, where it's like, okay, so you didn't win, but you know what? I still want you on my team.
Right.
And I think in some cases it's a case of, you know what, I'm going to hook up these good people. And I think in another case, it's like, enemies closer, friends close, enemies closer.
Right.
And
So I mean, and those are, and those are the things that we have to look at. We have to look at coming together to make this happen because, like I said, this, people say every year the election is this is the most important election. But when you got grandmamas and mamas have to be up fighting for freedom and fighting for their kids' education and all of that, we cannot lose any more ground. We
well,
cannot. We have to do something different.
this is, yeah, you're right. The stakes are so much higher at this point, and it's actually kind of scary when you think about it, because it's one of those things where I see what Shannon's talking about, by the way. She's trying to join the group as far as the King for Governor group.
That's what I
And
asked her. Did she send a request? Because if she sent a request, I can let her in the group.
I'm going to, yeah. And I'm also going to try to do something else. So, Shannon, if you can hear this, send a request to join the King for Lieutenant Governor group. Other than that, I am going to try to send something here.
And you know what? While you're doing that, I'm
Here we
going
go.
to
What I did was I shared the link via your personal page to
okay,
Shannon, so
okay,
that way she can see it. So that way she can be able to join in there without having that group picture, or you can't comment for whatever reason. So hopefully that'll work.
okay. And then what I'm gonna do is this. Hold on one second. But you can talk. I'm just trying to.
I was actually quiet for once. Can you believe that?
I know. I'm getting nervous when you get quiet.
Oh, usually when I'm quiet, I'm kind of thinking of a few things, but yeah. No, I think really at the end of the day, um, when it comes to the Republican Party of Wisconsin, the leadership, you know, and I'm going to say this as just being conjecture, because what I'm seeing right now, it just seems that it is weak for whatever reason. And what I mean weak is like, is there any real authority? Is there any true organization? I understand Paul Farrell's doing his thing, and I believe, he's the new chairman and everything, but it's almost like everybody's kind of just doing their own thing. And I got to wonder, is that what's going to be best in the end? Or is this going to get things so just fragmented where we're going to have splinter groups of Republicans? You're going to have the libertarians pretending to be Republicans. You're going to have the populists over here, the disaffected liberals here, the neocons there. And we're not even going to be able to coalesce a group to oust this governor. And God forbid that we lose any seats in the assembly or the Senate, because if someone like Ebrich gets full total power, and in the legislative body,
Right.
man, we are boned. I mean, you thought 2020 was bad. They're gonna come out with some new variant, and they're gonna lock this thing down so damn tight. I hate to
Yeah,
even think about that.
that's why I said this is so important that we stay focused on uh, what needs to happen, and that is to make him a one term. And so what we have to do is we have to get the people that's supporting us to say, win or lose, we're going to make Tony Evers a one-term governor. Win or lose.
But I think and I think there's a way of doing it too, though, without like trying to destroy everybody around you.
Right.
Because I've heard people, my favorite is the Rhino Queen, Rebecca. It's like, and I'll use her because she seems to be everybody's target. And when you're at the top of the heap, everybody's gunning for you. So you got to expect that. But I just think it's kind of funny because, like, was she a Rhino back in 2018, 16 during Act 10? Just saying. Everybody loved her. Nobody didn't like her, but now all of a sudden, she's this horrible person. I don't get that.
Well,
And I think when you start pushing that narrative, especially on social media, you're going to get a lot of people that are going to buy into it. And a lot of people are going to not do their own homework and look into this or reflect back during those years. And I think, unfortunately, those will be the very people that could make or break an election.
yeah. And when you look at it though, I mean, and that's going on both sides right now with you got both sides shooting each other, and I'm talking about the governor's race. You got the other side shooting Jonathan. How dare he question Ron Johnson, and so you
Oh,
got
I've seen that firsthand. I gotta tell you, that was hilarious. It's like, are you gonna sit there and I'll be the one to say that. It's like you're gonna sit there and try to call out a U.S. senator about state matters. And it's like, should you be running? Like, it doesn't work like that. This doesn't work like that at all. Oh, I saw that one. I was probably about 15 feet from when it all happened, and it was hilarious.
yeah. And but then when and so I mean, and when you look at it for what it really is, both of them are being aggressive, and they supposed to, like you say, got to be
Mm-hmm.
that third monkey trying to get on the ark, and
Right.
that's fine. But at the same time of being aggressive, we got to make sure that what we report is true.
Right.
Because even in a lieutenant governor race, we have someone that went out and lied on me, you know, and said that I'm running around here because I'm doing I'm speaking with medical freedom rallies, and I'm going to those rallies and everything. And the first lie they said was, "Oh, he going around saying he a medical doctor." I'm like, "No, dude. If you look on Facebook, you see that my doctrine is in theology. You see it out there. It's out there. But why do you have to go in and say stuff like that? Why do you have to go and act like that? And then you got others say, "Oh, I didn't see nothing wrong with it." See, now we got problems because if we wanted to play see who can piss the longest, it would be easy. But I'm not that person to sit up there and play dirty politics with you. I'm just going to be who I am because I'm confident in who I am. But if we wanted to get dirty, I got some folks that can do some research and pull dirt. But that doesn't make you the best candidate because you can pull out dirt. That doesn't make you the best.
Well, pulling up dirt's easy. It's like go ahead and call your dog and get your niece Penny and go gadget investigatory skills.
Right,
That's easy. I mean, that's kind of like going over here, ish talking. Anybody can do that.
right.
Not everybody's good at it, but anybody can do it. You know, I to the point of the whole, doctor label. It's funny because I can see where there's some confusion. I've known a lot of doctors over the years, some of them medical, some of them not. And it's funny because there's some people, oh, I'm doctor. Dude, you got your degree in online university in basket weaving. I'm still a doctor. Address me by my title, but you're not a doctor. Like so I can certainly see where there might be some confusion. Like if you were standing up in front of like a medical freedom rally and you're in front of a hospital, here's Dr. David King, oncology. Uh, so I can understand that. But I think anybody who's talked to you for more than like 30 seconds, they know it's a doctorate in theology. It's not really hard to piece together, you know. But there's
Hey,
some people,
look,
boy, they gotta have that title, boy. It's like it's Esquire. Okay, they're attorney, settle down.
right.
I
And,
love people. I
but
love people.
the funny part about that is this. The funny part about that is that if you're going to if we're going to win, all right, because we need to win. We need to
Hmm.
win. That's the bottom line. If we're going to win, we have to be able to just accept, that someone is a better candidate than I am. And to be honest with you, Ed, and I'm saying this with whole heart. If I thought that we had another lion in the lieutenant governor race and that I know gonna stand up for my children and grandchildren, I'll go back to just doing the other stuff that I'm doing in Milwaukee, giving out
Right.
jobs and helping people and making sure that families are taken care of. I will go back to doing that because that was not boring at all, you
Mhm.
know. But when it comes to my children and my grandchildren's future, and I've been in many forms, and I don't see another lion. So no, I cannot bow down gracefully and tuck my tail between my legs and go home. I mean, they all good people. Don't get me wrong, but it's time to fight. And I'm not going. I can't. If I know you bringing a knife to a gunfight, I don't need you with me.
Right.
I need somebody that's packing something just as big as mine or bigger, because I know you're not gonna run and leave me. So if I thought, honestly, if I thought, I wouldn't have never got in the race. Honestly, if I thought, I wouldn't be going across the state, putting all those miles on my car. I wouldn't have my wife out here um,
Right.
doing things if I felt that we had some people that was going to really hold everybody accountable, and be that agitator to make them do what's right for the people. I wouldn't even be in this race.
I
So
think it's interesting because I think almost everybody holds that attitude. And I had mentioned this to a friend of mine. Was earlier today we were talking, and it's like, whether you're doing a podcast or whether you're running for a political office, you have to have a certain degree of ego. I'm like, well, isn't that a bad thing? Like a bad trait? I'm like, no, no, no. It's. I don't think you understand. Ego, like you believe in yourself, in your talents, your skills, everything. Because if you didn't believe that, why would you do this? Like you could spend a lot of time doing a bunch of other things. Why do this? You have to have that little degree. You have to have a degree of ego to do this. Um, but I think it's going to be interesting because how many personalities, are gonna sound off more than what they actually are. Because anybody can have a good soundbite, but can you actually what's your backtrack? What's your record? What do you really bring to the table? Because I think eventually what's gonna happen here, because I think the mudslinging and everything, we're in that phase right now. If things do clear up over the next few months, God willing, Christmas helps settle things down. It's like, guys, chill. But I think what'll happen is eventually people will kind of like, okay, well, I'm seeing more of this. There's more events. People are doing more things online. Um, what's our BS detector say? And I think a lot of people are going to start, sifting through that and seeing who's who's being genuine. And thank God we got the internet today because you could do all kinds of research on an individual. You just got to be mindful of the sources that you're getting your information from.
yes, that is so true. And I have to challenge that word ego.
Oh, ego's a beautiful thing.
It
Come
is.
on.
It is. But I wouldn't use, for me, because who I am in God, I won't use ego. I just be confident in who I am.
See that you're splitting hairs here. Come on, man. Well, I don't want to use ego. I like to
I'm
want to
just
use the word
no, no,
self
no.
conf. I want to use the word self confidence that God
Hey,
gave me.
wait,
So
Ed.
so
I
so
got
you
you
mean
now.
so you mean
Uh-uh.
ego?
Ed, I got you. I got you, Ed.
Go ahead.
When we was on the phone,
Yep.
and I said to your son, I'm confident in who I am.
Oh
You
yeah.
came behind me and said to your son, yes, that's how you got to be confident in who you are.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Like every morning, I tell that boy, eat, sleep, dominate, repeat. No, there is for second place is your first loser. Just remember that
Right.
always.
And the thing about it is, you gotta get up knowing and thinking that you're going
Yeah.
to win. If you in this race just to be seen, then you're wasting a lot of time. You
Well, a lot of
know,
time, a lot of money, and it's like, dude, you're getting people all geeked up for what? So
right.
you can have a bullet point on your resume?
Hey, look
I
what
mean, don't get
Shannon.
me wrong, it's a good resume bullet point.
Right. You see what Sharon said? Shannon says.
You could use the word optimistic, semantics.
So, but you know, I mean,
Somebody has a thesaurus.
you broke up. What'd you say?
I said somebody has a thesaurus out there,
Yeah. So,
but
so
it's the same thing. That's
it is. It's the same. It's the same thing. But you know, I had to throw that in there. You
Oh
know,
yeah, you have to.
you know. But you know, I think though, if we you made a statement. Oh, look,
Oh.
you know,
On her phone.
I think though, if you know, when we look at it at the end of the day, you know, we supposed to. I grew up in let me tell you like this. This is my mindset, okay? I
Right.
grew up in a house with six brothers. It was six boys in the house. All right? Six boys in the house. You know there's gonna be some fighting, right?
Of course. Y'all got
Some
some Fight Club action going on over there.
right, and you know it's gonna be some name callings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but here's the thing: all of that was in the house.
Well, I was going to say, what happened when somebody tried to hit one of you?
Oh, that's a different story.
Right. And
That's
I
a
think
different
that's really the attitude we need to have. It's like we can beat up on each other, but the moment someone from the left comes at us, all of us need to dogpile them.
right.
And I wish we felt that there were more signs of that coming. You know,
I believe it's going to come. Ed. I really believe that it's going to come. You know, a lot of people right now, like you said, are moving by emotions, right?
hmm
They're really moving by emotions. They know what the people want to hear, right? Come on now, we can bring a person in from New Mexico
right.
and put him in the race. He's going to talk about critical race theory, medical freedom, right?
All
So
the standard buzzwords. Yep.
so we know that. But the question is, what's your plan? What do you what's your plan? What are you planning to do? And then when you hear that, you're gonna see the sheep versus the lion. You're gonna see coming to America, whatever you like. You know, you're gonna see those kind of things.
Did you really just use a coming to America reference?
Yes, you're
I
gonna
all
because
right.
why? You want to be. See, I'm not in this to be liked. I'm not trying to be
Yeah.
liked. I'm trying to get a job done. Okay, so I'm not trying to be liked. So I'm not going to put on the bow tie or the tie like you wear. I'm not going to put on the uniform like you. I'm a rebel. I don't put on the uniform.
I was gonna say, don't knock my ties now.
No, I'm not
Don't knock
knocking the
my
tie. I'm
ties.
just saying I'm not going to be uniform. So I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going. My whole purpose is to make sure that the people of Wisconsin is not forgotten for another 4 years. That
Yeah.
we.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, please. Didn't mean to cut you off.
But if we if we be and I'm gonna put Shannon's I was Shannon thing I was looking at. But if we're not in this to fight to win, and I'm not talking about see most people only want to win the election. We the fight just began after the election. The
Right.
fight just began because a lot of stuff got to be changed. So I'm in this to make changes. I'm not in it to just say, "Oh, I won, and now I'm the lieutenant governor, and I'm 6'4" and sexy and looking good across the state." No, I'm in this thing to fight to make changes. And I'm gonna hold myself to those promises that I made to everybody that I go across the state with. And I tell them all the time, if the governor's a female, her husband gonna think she's having an affair. If the governor is a male, his wife gonna think he's gay. Why? Because I'm gonna agitate them to do what they promised the people until they do it. That they're gonna go home with my name stuck in their brain. So when they may call them, they're gonna say, "What, David?" Because I'm gonna make sure you stand on what you say you was gonna do for the people. If you say you're gonna give the parents their rights back, then I'm gonna stay on you until you give the parents their rights back. If you say you're not gonna allow the state to be any more mandates and there's no shutdown, then I'm gonna hold you to those things because those is what the people believe that you say you're going to do for them.
Well, I
If
think
you
that's
say you're
one of
going to
those.
get the economy back together, then let's go. You want me to go out the state and bring companies in this state? I'll do it. Whatever you need done, let's get it done for what the things that we say we're going to do for the people.
Well, I think that that's something that is long overdue because I mean, even on the left, they suffer that. A lot of people voted for Biden, and they thought they were going to get this socialist utopia. And Biden's essentially told a lot of the fringe left to basically go pound sand. Ask BLM how much they got out of Biden at this particular point. He ain't taking calls from them.
Exactly.
And I think unfortunately that also applies to the right too, for to a certain degree. You know, um, Scott Walker did a lot of good things, and you can't be critical of him without acknowledging the positives, especially the first 6.5, 7 years of his administration. It was after he ran for president, though, that he kind of just dropped off the map. Robin Voss did a lot of really good things. You cannot criticize the man without acknowledging the positive things that he did at a certain point. But at the same point, I'll be the first one to criticize him. It's like, dude, where were all you? Where were all of you in 2020 when Kenosha was burning, when you had all this other stuff going on? You know, and I think that's the problem. People on the right tend to rest on their laurels. They tend to think that, oh, we won the election. Hey, we're good. We'll get like one landmark legislation done. You gotta be like the left. The left operate just like Terminators do from the old like Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah.
They don't rest, they don't quit, they have no mercy, and they're in constant war mode. Not us. We sit here, we kick our feet back on our desk, and then we wonder why we got ousted after one term.
And you know what? I say this. I would be, since we're doing movies, I would be Crazy Joe on Lean on Me.
Crazy Joe. Damn good
Because
movie.
because that is what we need to fix things. We got to stop. I'm just so tired of all the excuses. I'm not a man
Mhm.
that believe in excuses, you know. And the thing about it is, I don't believe in that because um, I couldn't give an excuse. I remember I came home from school one day and I didn't bring a book home because the teacher didn't give us no homework. I got a whooping because I
Right.
didn't bring a book home. But I gave him an excuse. The
Good
teacher didn't
excuse,
know
bad excuse, it's still an excuse.
exactly. So we got to stop with the excuses. We got to stop saying um, what we wanted to do, but we couldn't do because
Mhm.
you don't get a pass. Because, like I say, you didn't call a press conference, you didn't call a rally. You know the right love rallies. You
Yep.
know right love the protest. You ain't called none of those things because why? You're part of the good old boys, and they told you don't make no noise, and you didn't
Well,
make it. You didn't make no noise.
and I think for some people, it's not even so much a matter of being a part of the good old boys. I think that they just believe in this. So in most legislative bodies, there's a majority whip, there's a minority whip, and it's whatever party's in power is the majority, then you have the
Right.
minority, and the whip is the one who gets everybody in line to vote a certain way, to toe a particular line. And I have to wonder how many of these you know young people that have come in newer to office just kind of thought, you know what, I guess I got to play the game. That's what they told me to do. I got to be tenured in order to kind of do my own thing. And I have to wonder how many of those people are out there, Wisconsin, in Congress, in other states, that if they just let their instinct, their gut lead them the way, their consciousness, would they have fallen in line like that? Or would they have like say, hey, you know what? Enough is enough when it comes to these lockdowns. I'm going to speak out because clearly you're not doing it.
And I think you have something like that, but I really believe that they have to say, I believe some of them been threatened. You want to kill
Hmm.
your career?
Right.
You know, do you want to kill your career? Follow along.
Right.
You're
If
no
you
longer an eagle, you're a sheep. You're a pigeon. Fly with us.
well, that's where and I was waiting to drop this title here, but I'm gonna drop it tonight. Whether you claim yourself to be a rhino, a lion, a sheep, a chupacabra, whatever, everybody needs to be aware of the big game hunter. Everybody needs to be aware of that guy. And honestly, when it comes down to it, who's the big game hunter on the Serengeti? It's our voters. Every single one of them. Because it doesn't matter what you claim to be. If you ain't playing right by them, you're out.
You know what? You're absolutely right. We saw that in Virginia. The hunters
Mhm.
came.
The hunters came and they got their bounty. They were not playing games.
They was not playing games. And you know, and I was, and I don't know if I tried to bring Hilaro on, but I don't know if he's still on. I was gonna bring him on the scene with us. But one of the things I had told him one time, I said, one of the biggest problem with the party is they out of touch with the people. They need to listen to the people. They need to go in to the average person and know what they're dealing with on a daily basis and says, okay, we will make sure that this program happens, that you can get on your feet. We don't believe in handouts, but we do believe in hand ups. We will help you. We will make sure that there's things in place that will help you, give you a hand up to get on your feet, but not a handout. And
Yep.
and so, you know, one of the things that I told him was that is what's missing right now with the party. You know, because they're telling people just come join the party. Don't nobody want to join the party, and you don't care if I'm bleeding, or you don't care if I'm hungry, or you don't care that for opportunity for me. You know, so why would I come and join you? Well, we freed the slaves. Is that all you got?
It's kind of like, you know what? You remember what Janet Jackson said back in the day?
Yes.
Who's Janet Jackson? She asked you the question, what have you done for me lately?
Yes.
I don't want to hear about something 160 years ago. I need to know what happened last month.
Right. Because if you tell a black person, well, we freed the slaves, he might say to you, well, what about my 40 acres and a mule?
Right.
So, you
All the
know,
land's been bought up by Bill Gates. I can't help you there.
right. And we have to change. We have to change the message because I preached the message one time called "Different Strokes for Different Folks." You got to be able to meet the people where they at to deliver the same message that. Alario, put your email on here. Let me get you on here because you saying the party do care, and I'm not saying that you guys don't care. I'm saying you guys are out of touch.
Yeah, and I want to expand on that if you don't mind,
Go ahead.
because I think part of the problem with the Republican Party is that they tend to still operate in a very older late 90s, early 2000s mode. Let's go door knocking. Let's go send out mailers and rah rah. And it's interesting because as Republicans, conservatives, we have really acquiesced so much to the left. We've fallen back on schools, and I'm talking K through 12 and higher education. We've acquiesced on entertainment. There's not too much conservative entertainment out there. Music, movies, books, any media.
Right.
You know, the left control the cultural institutions, and the right really don't do very much to try to get any of that back. I mean, you're seeing it a little bit with Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire. But the problem is, as a whole, we don't do anything to reach out to people. I mean, that's great. You do a Toys for Tot thing once in a while. You feel good about yourself and you get to pat each other on the back and you can look all fly and everything. That's cute. It's wonderful. But what are you doing in the middle of September when, people got, school coming up, bills are due? What are you doing like in May when that moratorium on cutting off people's power is about to kick off? Not saying you need to pay people's bills, but what are you doing to help them get some employment? What are you doing to change culture, whether it be in the city, suburbs, or rural area? Give you a great example. How many young men out here, and I hesitate calling them young men because they're effeminate, they're weak, they're pathetic. I pray to God they don't reproduce because they would just spawn more weak, pathetic people. There's a lack of masculinity. There's a lack of manhood. There's a lack of fathers. What are we doing to promote that culture? A gentleman's club, as it were. We don't do that.
Right.
And if we did more of that, our influence on culture, boy, the only time you would have saw this much stroke is by watching Jack Nicholson. That's all I know.
You know, and the thing about it is that, okay, let me see if I can see him, because it won't let me do it through, so I'm gonna have to do it through my Gmail. But you know, when we look at everything that's going on, right? I try to tell people, you know, when we're talking about what you have done, what have you done lately, like you said in Janet Jackson,
Janet Jackson, baby.
you know, I know they said, uh, let's see, let me see if I got it.
No, he's almost home. Okay. Check your
Uh,
email when you're done, Hilario. You know, I told my wife I'd only be on here like 30 minutes. That's what
I, I
happens when you get me on here. You know that.
I know I said the same thing, but you know, I mean, and then they say, okay, well, we had a booth at Juneteenth Day. What do Juneteenth Day? A booth at Juneteenth Day? You know, and listen, and I'm not knocking that, Ed, because I'm gonna tell you what I
Yeah,
did.
it's like it's a start.
Right.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. Sam Hagedorn is the one who started the booth at Juneteenth Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I used to give him these DVDs to pass out. It was American History in Black and White by David Barton, um, Pastors and Christians in Civil Government, MAFA 21, Hidden Colors 1 and 2. So I gave him all of these DVDs and they passed them out. So in MAPA 21, it showed how the NAACP, in this documentary, it showed how the NAACP sold out the blacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I put, 1 year, I gave Sam them some, and right across the street from Sam was the NAACP. So I took some CDs over there. I'm talking about thousands of CDs, and I put some over there, and the NAACP was passing them out. Lena Taylor came and got some. She was passing them out. The Republican Party was passing them out, and this young guy, he had to be in his like mid-20s. He watched what I did, came in the middle of the street, because you know we're in the streets down in Milwaukee. He comes in the middle of the street. He looked
Right.
at me. He said, "Man, you smarten them up." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "You got both sides passing out the same DVDs, and one side don't even know it's telling on themselves because he saw
Right.
the DVDs, right?" So Juneteenth Day, they gave a power washer away and everything. Sam started the Juneteenth Day thing. Okay,
Now,
like you said, that
wait,
that
I got to recap on something. Did you say Hidden Colors 1 and 2?
yes.
Damn. Tariq Nasheed. I can't help it. Dude shady. That's all I gotta say about him. It's like I get the other movies and stuff, but Tariq, anything associated with Tariq Nasheed, I know a little bit about his past, and it's like, oh man, you trying to flip the script and stuff and like totally deny everything you ever said and done. Okay.
So when you look at all of this stuff, and at the same time, I tell people all the time, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
So so going down and doing things where, for example, ain't no one, I think the reason I say they out of touch, because you only want to talk to them to get them to become one. So you can say, oh, we got blacks in the party. No, get out there, find out what the issues is, invest money into conservative Republican people that's running for aldermen and county supervisors and all this other stuff, so that way, we can have some kind of chance to better the lives in Milwaukee. But right now, you got to go fight a machine, and the other machine, well, it's not nonpartisan. We're not going to participate. Democrats ain't saying that.
No, they're all in with their people.
Huh?
Yeah, they're all in for their people. They find the one that they know that's going to be the least, that has the least amount of shame. They find the ones that are going to be, to toe the line, push the party further left. Oh no, they make no bones about that. Oh, you are absolutely correct about that, Shannon.
I'm glad she's talking to us tonight.
See, you get Shannon on here, boy. She'll light this bad boy up.
Shannon, you want to come on? All you gotta do is tell us you want on. But the thing about it is, I've been in my community for a long time, helping people, and to see how both sides treat them, I really get upset, because a lot of people is not lazy. A lot of people are dealing with a lot of different stuff that if they just had somebody give them a hand up, they'll be all right.
But I think part of that problem, though, and this is where, especially within Black communities, and you see it to a lesser degree, but still a great degree in the Hispanic communities, it's the whole broken home thing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the left like to claim systemic racism, but they fail to acknowledge the very fact that systemic racism really only exists where Democrats are in control, because that's where you see the greatest areas of, single family households, no fathers in the house, a lack of respect for authority and or education. And by the way, I'm not a fan of the public school system. To me, I consider those, government indoctrination centers. But to the point, you got to learn to read, write, do some math, that type of thing, basic thinking skills. That's all falling apart when you create a culture where somebody gets beat up because they got straight A's. And that's the problem, I think, and that's where I said, a culture needs to change, a dynamic needs to change. And I think this kind of goes hand in hand with what you were saying, is that the party really cared. What you really, and I don't want to say they don't, but I think the problem is they end up walking into an area and start talking as if somehow they're the smartest person in the room. And when you talk like you're above everybody, people can't see that you actually give a damn. They don't see that you care. Moreover, they're not even going to give you the time of day to listen, because when you actually go into an area like that, you're coming in there with questions. You're coming in there with, I want to understand. But unfortunately, what ends up happening is you frame your position in such a way that it's like you're talking down to people. And anytime you talk down to people, that's usually not well received.
Right. And let me say this, Shannon, we this is going to be a weekly show. And I like doing it with my Carmel brother here. And so, but I will be doing a weekly show, and anytime he want to come on, he know he's welcome to come on. And I always try to do it on the day he's not doing one, so I can get him on. But you're absolutely right. And my biggest frustration with it is they're not connected to the average person. I remember walking down the street one day, and I saw this guy, and I said to him, I said, how you doing, man? He said, man, I'm not doing. I said, what's the problem? Mm-hmm. He said, look, my family ain't got no food, and I'm either going to jail tonight trying to feed them.
Yeah.
I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, I'll tell you what, take me to your house. If there's no food in that house, we're going to, I'll make a phone call. We're going to the grocery store, and we're going to put food in this house.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, really? I said, yeah. He took me to a house. Nothing in the cabinet, nothing in the refrigerator. From a man now.
Right.
to look at my children, to know they ain't got nothing to eat, I'm going to do whatever it takes. Because as a man, you cannot stand there and see your kids not eating, right? Oh, she said, oh, are you coming on the show? You should, Ed.
I'm here now.
So I took him to the store, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got his food. He came over to my house. He came up to my church. My church was on the corner of Richards and Concordia. I said, now let's find out. Now that I'm fed his family.
Right.
Now I need to know why you in this condition. Well, nobody will hire me. Okay, guess what? You really want to work? I got you a job. And I got him a job. But it was after I took care of his need. He had a need right then and there.
Well, and you have to take care of that immediate pressing need. Like you said, okay, I need food. I need food. I can't feed my kids. That's the pressing need. Then, and I'm sure you probably had a lengthy discussion. I can't get hired. Well, let's find out. Why can't you? So you go over that. And you know what? Obstacles are only meant to be defeated. Go around them, over them, through them, but we're going to do that. And that's where, you feel that gap.
Right.
Because you took care of the need. You recognize the gap. You see where he wants to go. Boom. Now, all of a sudden, self-worth, self-esteem, all that goodness comes in. Now you just became one of the most important conversations of his life.
Yes. And this is where I say they out of touch, because all they want you to do is join the party. They're not trying to take, okay, let's see where you at. Let's see how you got here, and let's see where we need to take you. Because again, I'm not giving you a handout, but I will give you a hand up. I will give you an opportunity to feed your family. I will give you an opportunity, but let's find out what's the issue. Because here's the thing about it. Even if I vote for you, my kitchen is still empty.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I join the party, well, I don't even have the money to join the party. So, so what that's going to do for me?
Well, I think, for me, this is one of those issues where we can talk CRT, we can talk lockdowns, we can talk all this other stuff. For me, my personal number one issue is the economy.
Of course.
And it's my number one issue because to me, money is a tool. It's the weapon that I wield in order to craft what I need. It is my hammer, it is my sword, it is my shield. And because without money, how do you advocate for yourself? How do you earn, which gives you purpose? It allows me to provide a better life for my children. And ultimately, if I have enough, I can provide for other people by helping them out. So it is a tool. And without that, it's really hard to feel a sense of self-worth, of validation, because when you look at it, what is money? It is not the chasing or idolization of money, but rather it is this is what I have worked for. I have put in this work, this time, through my skills. I have created value, and this is the fruits of my labor. And I think for most men, this is what brings satisfaction. Like when I look at my son, every Friday, hook him up with a little allowance because, he's earned it. It makes me feel good because I can do that. And then you have Hilario with his cat.
Hello, everyone.
What's going on, brother?
What's going on?
Living the dream.
It's a good one, I hope.
Oh, yes. It's nothing but good dreams over here.
Good times.
Damn, notifications. People keep blowing up my phone.
You're popular, that's why.
Yeah, too popular. So, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. I got my phone on the sideways because it's charging. If you hear my cat in the background, I'm sorry. I just got home. He's making noise. Come here, kitty. Well, today was it was an interesting day. We had a candidate training session at the West Dallas office, and there was a lot of new faces at the office and in the meeting. And actually got some people. Hi, buddy. We got some people, including my cat, who are very much interested in running for different offices, especially some county supervisor people or county supervisor candidates. So we're going to be working with them, helping them out, get all settled, and then they're going to hit the ground running because, today's the day for start of nomination signatures, getting your candidates' signatures in by the end of the month before the new year. So that was my day. Let's go, Brandon. Yes.
Okay. Now you were doing a lot of texting. You was doing a lot of texting. Now speak.
Speak. What would you like me to speak on?
The stuff you was texting about.
The party. Well, people always say,
wait. I think we have to be mindful of a couple things. Number one, it is 10:45 at night. Number two, at this particular hour, I don't necessarily know if Hilario speaks in an official capacity or not. He can speak to that. I want to be mindful about his position and how he is as far as that's concerned. And the reason I want to do that is simply for the fact that it's an employment thing. Cool.
Okay.
But Hilario, you made your comments and everything. I think all three of us have a slightly differing opinion. I think we all have the same end goal. So clear that up for us. Let me know whether or not, you're not officially talking on behalf of the party. This is Hilario De Leon, and kind of where you're going with this here as far as the endorsement, primary, all that other goodness.
Sam, I'll message you after the show and tell you which districts. I got them written down. And it's in my binder and it's in my car, so I'm not going to run out there and grab it. Move, cat. So, sorry about that. This cat's very distracting. Repeat your last few words you said, Ed.
No, just got to break it down. Kind of what you were saying earlier. I think we all three have different opinions.
I know.
I think we have the same goal. But at the same time, I want to make sure there's clarity. You're not speaking on behalf of the party, or if you are, you need to disclose that. And then, of course,
if I were to speak on behalf of the party, I will make that very clear. But this is just my opinion from my own experience, especially since I'm very new to politics. I mean, many of you guys have been around for a very, very long time. Sometimes Ed says ancient time.
I'm ancient. That's right.
Please don't kick my teeth in. But so when I first got involved, I didn't start with the party. I was, let me know what district. Okay, Shannon, I'll let you know too. When I first got involved in politics, I started through the Conservative Digest. So obviously, it is a nonprofit organization, 501c3, dedicated on teaching conservative values. So I was not part of the party. It wasn't until actually after the election is when I became a member. See, when I first started, it was through the grassroots. Then I was volunteering a lot, tried to create my own events, my own Trump rally when the DNC was going to come. And actually had a lot of people who were on board and ready to go, but obviously COVID changed the game and I couldn't do anything with it. And actually they moved the date to the DNC as well. So the Trump campaign got notice of it and they offered me a job as a field organizer, and I took that. I worked in Milwaukee. I was stationed in the MLK office, which is a RPW office. I wasn't in one of the Trump victory offices. So I got to work alongside some people who were part of the state party and other people that were on the Trump campaign. And then let's fast forward. The election's over. right around December, I sprained my ankle and was on crutches and was looking to do stuff, but I couldn't do too much. So I was invited to a meeting with people in the county. And there I met at West Dallas. I mean, I already knew David Cars. I already knew some of the other people. I met Rick Boss, who passed away back in October. Met him for the, I think, second time there. But it was then I paid my dues. Actually, David paid for me because I was in an economic situation where I I couldn't pay. I was really low on money and I was trying to survive. I was out of a job and was looking for work, but couldn't.
Are you trying to make this a 5-hour show, sir?
No, but what I'm saying is
he will.
I will. I almost did yesterday. But what I'm saying is with that I saw that I always heard from different people, the party's useless. You can't get anything done in the county party. There's always fighting. And I was like, I'm going to become a member. I'm going to start showing up and doing stuff. I went to events. I went to executive board meetings, which are open to everyone to come. But you got to respect the people on the board, let them do their thing, and maybe if you're there you can put in some input. And that's how it started with me. I started giving my ideas, then eventually I became a member on the South, or a member at large on the South branch, and then I started going to more meetings. They valued what I had to say since I was younger and knew a little bit more about social media than most people, and they started turning stuff over to me. Their social media was not active at all. I mean, it was, but it just wasn't good. Not too many people interacted with it. Anyways, turned that over to me and a few other people. We made it more active. People on Instagram, Facebook, it's becoming more active. Our meetings, we're starting to focus on more things to get stuff done. So I think people's frustration when it comes to the party, I think a lot of that is directed at the national level, but it gets taken out on both the state and the county. We're all in the end goal, but I think if people if I didn't get involved, I don't know where our social media was, but I saw ways I could improve it. I took action.
Okay.
Let me David, take it.
Okay. You just prove our point. The party is out of touch with the average person.
So what do? You get involved and you change it around.
Get involved.
What?
Get involved to change it around.
Well, isn't that what you're supposed to do? You're running for office and you want to get involved to change it around.
No, I'm getting involved to make sure that people get what they want and what they need. But when we're talking about out of touch, we're talking about the average person, that average, just like we was talking about before you got on, the average father, that father that got to feed his kids and everything to that nature. See, I think that the goal that the party have is getting more people in the party, but you're not really addressing the individual's issues.
I think the party wants to address these issues, but there's only so many of us that can actually do stuff. There's some people on the board who don't do stuff. And so what are we doing? We're figuring out a way to change that around, get those people who want to do something for the average person and change that around. That's the way it's done. And being me, growing up, I mean, I always took public transportation. I always took the bus to work before I was driving. I mean, I talked to many different people on the bus. And so I think we want to do that stuff. It's just we don't have the numbers. David, I got your number written down on a piece of paper at the MLK office, ready to hand out to anyone who comes in looking for a job. So
stop right there. Stop right there. Listen to what you just said. You guys are not going to the people. You want the people to walk into your office.
Do you think someone like me is going to relate to people on the north side?
Yes.
They're going to listen to me.
Listen, if I can relate to a person all the way up north, where Ed lived, if he can relate to a person where he lived, yeah, you can relate to a person in Milwaukee. Everybody's talking about freedom. Everybody talking about CRT and education. Everybody talking about economics and getting the economy going again. Everybody has the same issues. So it's not a color thing. That's the problem. The party is so out of touch. You're trying to do a color thing. It's not a color thing. It's a people thing.
I'm not saying it's a color thing. I'm saying that it's an experience thing. People have different backgrounds in life and the way they're raised.
You guys are both right and you're both wrong. And what I mean by that, let's take the party offices, for example, MLK, the one on the south side. If you don't have a place to be, a presence, then nobody's going to know you exist. That's the first thing. So you got to have a place for people to go to. But to the opposite side of that, if you have a base, let's say on the south side or on the north side, then you need to be expanding and getting into the neighborhood. To Hilarious' point, could he necessarily relate to people on the north side? Probably not. He's going to get a lot of people going to slam doors in his face.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Not necessarily. It's how you go in there.
Oh, that's something entirely different. That's something different, and I think you're right about that.
Listen what we're saying. We're saying you got to build relationship. People got to know you care before they know what you know. So it's how you go in. It's how you go in. If you just going in saying, we're Republican, we want you to be a Republican. No, you're going to get the door slammed in your face. Like people get the door slammed in their face when you walk on there and say, how much Jehovah's Witness would you like this watchtower?
I mean, I don't do that.
You're going to get the door slammed in your face. But if you go in there and build a relationship, you waiting on them to come to you. Ain't no fish going to come and jump in your boat.
But there's only a few of us. There's not many of us to leave the office and branch out into the community. It's hard for just a few people.
No. If there's one of you, there's enough of you.
Say that again.
If there's one of you, there's enough of you. See, this is where I say you're both right and you're both wrong. Because honestly, the answer is in between. You have to have a presence. From the presence, you need to branch out. Start making contacts. If I was running the South Side office right now, I'd be talking to business leaders, church leaders, anybody who does business in there. But that's just me. That's
it's how in the works, Ed. It's in the works.
Yes, but I don't. That's fine. It's in the works, but I would have had at least one person by now. At least one. And that's the thing. Where I think a lot of people from where Dave was coming from, it's it's not happening fast enough. It's in the works. And that's one of those things where it's how many times is it going to be in the works before it gets lost in the shuffle?
Mind you, I did just get hired.
No. We're not blaming you or anything. Nobody's blaming you.
But the thing about it is this. You put an office on MLK and didn't have a playbook. You didn't have plans to go into the community. That's the problem that we're saying. But I think that's also statewide too. And I want to throw this in because in my county, we have a Republican Party here, but apparently it's a social club. All they do is really hang out. They really don't do anything. And they hold a Reagan Day dinner once a year. They brag about the fact they have 1,400 signs that were handed out. And it's I wouldn't be bragging about it. It's kind of oh, I'm getting endorsed by a certain person. It's I wouldn't brag about that. They were in jail. Watch this. Listen to this. This is what I'm talking about. You see that right there, Ed?
Let's see here. I was told tonight that parents have no right. The school district does where your kids go to school. I'm going to be encountering that very soon. And I'm happy to say that.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Average people. This is what average people are dealing with. When the school tell the parents you ain't got no rights. Okay, these are the issues that we should be listening to and listening for. When you got families fighting, parents fighting for the rights to be a parent, you know, and we want to do. One lady said, "Sound like Kenosha," but you know, this is not a fight, and that lady is not in Kenosha, but Kenosha's having that fight. Ed finna have that fight. They're having that fight up north. They're having that fight in Mequon. They're having that fight in Oshkosh. They're having that fight in La Crosse. They're having those fights. This is what I'm talking about. We got to be able to be sensitive to the people and hear what the people are saying, and then come up with solutions to solve the problem of the people who are the boss.
But I think too, though, you know, to Hilario's point, you have to have a base of operations to start from, you know, and I think for some people, they need to know that you're there, you're present in their community. You can have that, and then you branch out, and then you have to act like a spider web. And like I said before, where there's one, there's enough of you.
And MLK, you know, we have to take into consideration. MLK was shut down for a long time because a car drove into the office, and we were waiting on the insurance companies to figure out whatever plan that RPW did, whatever they could, as much as they could. After hearing the whole story now, as much as they could to get the office open, putting pressure on the landlords.
But the other office was open. They opened up the other side. Remember?
People didn't know we were there.
And whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? And it's not yours because you wasn't paid then. But whoever was paid, it was their fault. The people didn't know y'all was in the next door. Because like Ed said, if there's one is enough.
Well, then what do? You go to the leadership, you tell it to them. They have stakeholders that they listen to. They have people that they listen to their concerns. They have emails listed on the website to reach out to.
But you know, and I'm actually glad you said that, because you know, it's like they have stakeholders that they listen to, and that's great. You should listen to your stakeholders. The problem is that for the average person that comes in, they're very easy to dismiss, way too easy to dismiss. And it's like, well, we're going to do what we're going to do because we know more. And I think that's indicative of any insider group, because a lot of people, I think, have this idea that, well, they really don't know anything. It's like, well, maybe if I sat down and listened to them, you know, and you and I, Hillary, we've talked about this ad nauseum, you know, where you sat down, you may not even talk politics. You're sitting there and you're talking with them. You're having the conversation, and it's a natural thing. And it just, to David's point, showing that you care. But see, that becomes human interest. By the way, I want to go into a comment real quick here. Brian was Brock Maddox.
Yes.
They got an event planned for January 13th in Marshfield, Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
I was gonna say, Brock, hit me up on that one, because I'll be there. Marshfield.
Yeah. Now, Shannon, we're not picking on Hilario. We know he just got there. We're not
picking on Hilario. Why not?
Yeah, we just busting his chops. We're not picking on him personally, but we're just being real that they've been there before he got hired. But the thing about it is, it's just like a church. If you stay inside, people don't know. I'll give you an example. This man came into town. He wanted to talk to me, but he said, before I talk to you, let's take a walk. And we walked we walked around the neighborhood, and he would stop somebody and he'd say, do you know who the pastor at that church down there is? And the guy said, yeah, you're walking with him. He said, oh, okay. And he'll stop somebody else. Can you tell me something about this guy right here? They said, oh yeah, he the pastor down there and he always helping people. They said, okay. So we walked 4 blocks, north, south, east, and west.
Yep.
Okay. Then we came back to the church, and a car full of young men pulled up, and they stopped the car and they raised the window down, talking about, we sorry. So I'm looking at the man, and the man looking at me like, why they say they sorry? I said, I'm not sure. So I goes by the car and said, man, why y'all talking about y'all sorry? They said, we smoking weed, but we didn't want to ride past and not speak to you. We didn't want to be disrespectful. So the man says,
fair enough.
So the man said, okay, let's go in the building. We went in the building, and this is what he said. He says, I'm willing to help you with whatever you're doing. He says, because before I talk to anybody, I have to walk the community to see if the people know who they are.
Yep.
So if the party is going to be on MLK, then somebody north, south, east, or west should know who Kinzer is, because that's what he's paid to be there for.
Kinzer recently had a meeting with a bunch of pastors.
Somebody, again, I'm talking about the average person. Somebody north, south, east, or west should know who he is, should have got opportunity for information on opportunities, not just the party, but opportunities. He's been there for a while. So somebody should be able to know his name, because he's building relationships with people. And here's the thing about it. You got to be careful which pastors y'all having meetings with, because the moment they realize you're not going to give them nothing, that might be a problem.
Yeah, and there are a lot of shysters out there, and they ain't necessarily all pastors. They're businessmen, just the same. But at the same point, and I want to, and I got to get off here soon, because I actually got to get to bed, because 5 o'clock will be here before I know it. But
tell me about it.
I want to close out with a couple comments here. Like I said, I think you both are right. You both are wrong, but I think you both have more in common than what you guys realize. And this is where I think the marriage of both ideas of establishing a base and webbing out from there comes into play. Do you need people to kind of get out there into the community? No doubt, especially when it comes to Milwaukee County in particular. I would even say Dane County, just the same. But with that all being said, I love you both. Hilario, don't take any of this personal. It kind of comes away, but I'll tell you firsthand, I know the work that you've been putting in. If anyone's going to throw shade at you, trust me, they're going to have to deal with me. And I ain't the nicest person to deal with. I got your back. It's all good. We got a really contentious election coming up. And it's tough because, we got the party looking to want to try to establish itself as trustworthy. And that's the problem. There's no trust right now. And unfortunately, when we go back to 2020, that's where a lot of it broke down. From party leadership, from elected party leadership, I would say, where were you? And that's where a lot of people, they lost hope. And that's why a lot of folks ended up going to the QAnon, they go to whack job conspiracies. And I think, unfortunately, whether it's right, wrong, fair, unfair, the RNC has a tough job having to rebuild that trust with people and to rebuild confidence so that people don't buy into these crazy crackpot theories or anything else like that. And not that I have a problem with conspiracy. I love conspiracy. But there's some conspiracy that are just way too far out there. Like, you're not going to pull Biden out of office no matter what the audit is. Just stop. There's no constitutional mechanism for that. But that all being said, it's going to be tough. And these next few months, whether you are for the endorsement, against the endorsement, and that's kind of, the question that was there for you, Hilario. It is going to be tough, and it's going to be a lot of hurt feelings, I think. But at the same point, at the end of the day, to David's point, and he is absolutely correct about this, we do have to find a way to unify, because we really have one true enemy. If we can't unify around that, we are looking at 4 more years of Evers in his administration. And nobody in their right mind wants that. So, on that note, thank you, gentlemen. I got to get to bed. Seriously. I got to get that boy to school tomorrow.
Well, I'm going to just mess with you one last time before you leave, though.
Go for it.
I'm never wrong. No, let me stop.
I'm never wrong.
I'm never wrong. But no, I think that you're absolutely right. The trust is lost because of things that happen. The trust is lost. The sad part about it is Hilario has a good heart and wants to see the greatness of the party itself.
And he will.
I just hope that his skin get thickened, because you're defending something that took more than a year to destroy when it comes to the trust. It's got to be rebuilt. It got to be to the fact where the people can really, really trust what we're saying. Because here's the thing about it. We didn't just lose our rights as parents from the Democrat Party. Both parties is guilty of that.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't just lose our rights or they're trying to take our rights from Second Amendment or First Amendment, just the Democrat Party. Both sides are guilty of that. So until we realize that and accept the Republican Party is supposed to be the party of the people. And if the Republican Party is supposed to be the party of the people, then they need to listen to the people. If the Republican Party is supposed to be the party of God, then they need to start walking more in integrity and walking as the party of God. But if they're not going to do that, then you people lose trust. And I don't care. And Hilario, you're gonna learn this because you're still young. You're gonna learn this. It's gonna take you a lifetime to build you a name, but it takes 15 seconds to destroy your reputation.
But let's not use Hilario's youth as a detriment either.
Not as a detriment, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn. I think there's definitely a lot to learn. But
no. Wait, Ed, I'm not talking about his what he got to learn. I just want him to know.
Yeah.
That it takes you a lifetime to build your name, your character, but it takes 15 to 30 seconds to destroy it. Because ain't nobody, once it's messed up, ain't nobody remembering the good you done.
It's kind of true.
They don't remember the good. Just like you say, you had to remind people, don't think about the good that Walker did over the bad he done, because all they looking at is the bad.
Yeah, don't overlook that.
Right. And that's how it happens. So even though your heart is good and your heart is right, there's people that came before you that the distrust came from. The distrust didn't come from you. You're doing your best to take some Gorilla Glue and try to glue it back together. But at the same time, you got to remember, a lot of people got disappointed from the party.
I'll tell you this though, Hilario's got more hustle than people twice his age.
Well, yeah,
and I got respect for that.
That gotta be that.
That's my stepson there.
I know, right? They gotta be that. What's they call that? Red Bull, because he be drinking that.
I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink energy drinks. I don't drink coffee.
What the hell is wrong with you, boy? You need to start drinking some coffee.
Nope.
Oh, we gonna have a conversation. We gonna have a conversation.
I'm all natural right here.
I got you natural, man. Oh man, I gotta go to bed, guys. Like I said, I trust me. If I could do this full time, I would be doing this.
On this. I'll end on this. I know many people have broken trust, and I know a thing or two about broken trust just because of my life experience growing up and different things going on.
I didn't mean to give you up as a child. I'm sorry.
I know. Started with you, Dad. It's all your fault. But I'm the kind of person, I see the potential. I've got to get a lot of stuff done just on my own without, even though people told me, don't worry about it. You're wasting your time, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Or they had their own opinions. And I'm like, fine, that's you. But I'm going to do what I'm going to do to get the job done.
Yep.
Whatever means necessary, because I think we're stronger together. The party has a very rich history and very strong, bright future that we can lay out and really bring forth those conservative values that the majority of the population has. But it's just how we get there. I think that's the same thing with Democrats. I feel like some of them, they want to do the same thing that we want, but it's how we get there. It's what divides us. And I think we're all focused on that division rather than like that end goal, like Ed has mentioned, and David, you have mentioned too. I just think it's better to be in on the inside, sharing everything that's going on, and actually having a hand in the cookie jar, not in a negative sense, but you have your hand in the pond. You are able to have some sort of that influence and control what you can around you that will later influence things down the road or trickle up or trickle down. I mean, I'm going to be appointed second vice chair to the county party. I wouldn't have be appointed to that position if I didn't show up and do something. And I've only been involved for a year, almost 2 years now, just doing stuff. All I did was show up and say, you know what, I'll do it. And while other people didn't do it. So I think it's just, that's what we need to do. We need to all be involved as much as possible.
I'll say it like this, and I'm glad that you're getting positions and everything like that. But when you're part of a club, reality don't hit when you're at the bottom. Reality hits when you start taking positions, and you're going to see things that you're going to have two choices. Either stand where you at right now and speak on it and be blackballed by them, or you're going to get sucked into what they're doing. And that's the danger, because like me and Ed was talking earlier, you had so many people that they had their mindset to go in and do a great job. But then they was probably told, do you want your career to be ended? So and what I mean by that is everything that you might in your heart want to do, and I pray that you can do it, but don't get discouraged when you find that your fight now is not on the outside, but it's on the inside, because a lot of people don't want to change.
But I think he knows that, though. That's why he's talking about, trying to make the changes from within. And I think it's an interesting concept. And I think a lot of people, Chris Lawrence was talking about this a while ago. He's like, we need to have people knocking on doors and everything. It's like, bro, it's easy for you to say that when you're getting paid. Everybody has a talent. Some people's talent, my talent will never be within the Republican Party. I just won't. I'm not the type of person who will toe a line. But I am the type of person that'll hold you to the fire. I am the person that will call stuff out, because in the end, what are you going to do? Affect where I sleep, what I eat, my money? You can't affect those things. If you can't affect those things, then I have no I don't have no fear of consequence. So
but I think it's also good to have
everybody has those talents. Some people are better in an office. Some people are better as a staffer. Some people are better as an advocate.
And even an agitator.
An agitator. But we need to start recognizing those and playing off of one another instead of saying, like, who's got the biggest pee-pee in the room? It's like, it's kind of like, come on, really? Like, are we really doing this?
Right.
I think I'll end on this quote from Abraham Lincoln. And I think this defines who we all are. Be sure to put your feet in the right place and then stand firm.
There you go.
I'm gonna end on this quote. And this quote is by Malcolm X. By any means necessary.
Even scorched earth? I'm going to ask the question. You knew I was going to ask it. Don't act like you're surprised.
I'm not surprised. That's why I said that.
That's, and I think it's funny when people say things like they go out there, they start breathing fire and brimstone. And I'm like, really?
Hey, it's like this. I like to ruffle you before you leave, because I quote one person.
Yeah.
And that is my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. So here's my real quote. All right. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast. All right. That a woman put in the dough. Now, when you put yeast in the dough do not control the yeast. Yeast control the dough. All right. So an agitator is like yeast. It can't be controlled, but it can change the atmosphere. It can change some things. All right. And if you're gonna go in to the party as second chair, be the yeast. Don't let it change you. Change it.
That's how I've always been.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. But I'm about to go upstairs because I still want to be married, and where is that in the Bible? That is Matthew chapter 13, verse 33. So, but thank you guys. Next time, Ilario, get on early. We're not really picking on you. We're really just talking about how do we bring everybody together after the primary and how we stay one, because the common goal is to make Evers a one-term governor. That's the bottom line.
My doors for my offices are always open. Everyone has a seat at my table.
I'm scared to come on Martin Luther King and North Avenue.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, 3 hours conversation scared.
Yeah, right.
How about Lincoln Avenue? You come on in. That's where I'm stationed now.
See, I'm not gonna throw any with any quotes, but I will end it like this. Like, I'm not a fan of the North Side because I know what the crime stats are. But yeah, y'all do your MLK thing. I'm going on 6th and North. I know y'all got a Popeye's chicken there. That's all I know.
No,
they closed it down. Don't play with me.
6th and North. No, it's gone.
Oh, you play my emotions.
Now there's one on 20. There's one on 24th in North, 23rd, 24th in North.
Well, I was gonna say I have to go to 16th and National, but we know how that goes.
Hey,
I'm gonna have a box of Popeye chicken somewhere sitting, and then a bunch of little pieces of chicken leading up to it, and then a box over the other box, and I'm gonna have Ed come in like, "Ooh, a piece of chicken! Ooh, a piece of chicken!" like James Woods from Family Guy.
I kind of would.
I'm gonna be like what Tracy said.
Just carry a gun. I am the gun. I'm the nuke.
So, okay, real quick, I got a true story. So, every Popeye's chicken that I've been to in Milwaukee has bulletproof glass, like that thick bulletproof plexiglass, like nothing's getting through it. But they got a Popeye over here in Fond du Lac, and it's funny because like no bulletproof glass, everybody's happy. Nobody's miserable with their job. And it's like the weirdest experience ever. But, whatever. We have digressed so far from where we were going. But, gentlemen, like I said, I got to get some rest. 5 a.m. be here before we know it.
Yes, sir. And I got to get up. I got a long day tomorrow. I will be on the Dark Horse. I'll be on the Dark Horse Enterprise show tomorrow, entrepreneur show.
Nice.
So I'll be on there tomorrow, and then he's one of the speakers, Ed, on Friday
in Milwaukee.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Him and his daughter. His daughter's speaking too.
See, when you on Fond du Lac, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go, but it's like Milwaukee on a Friday night. I won't get home till like midnight.
And Jason Storm is speaking.
I know. I'll contemplate this. All right, gentlemen. I got to get to bed for real, though, because otherwise we'll be on here for like 5 more hours.
My cat says goodbye.
All right, you guys. I love you. Much respect for both of you guys. I thank y'all
Likewise.
for coming on.
Good night and God bless.
God bless, and y'all have a beautiful night. I'm gonna just make an announcement. Oh, Kat says she love your cat.
Thank you.
She says love.
His name is Kitty. All right. Have a good night, sir. Thank you for having me on.
All right. God bless.
Good night.
Good night. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. We do have to look at coming together after the primary. We have to come together after the primary, and we have to be able to make Evers a one-term governor. I'm looking forward to Friday. Friday is the Wisconsin Revival Rally. It's at 790 North Milwaukee Street. We have a parking structure that are allowing us to park there for $5 per vehicle. And we do have security. For those that's a little worried or not comfortable about Milwaukee, we got nice security for you guys. Come on out, 790 North Milwaukee Street. Doors open up at 5 o'clock. The rally starts at 6. I'm excited about all the speakers that's going to be there, all the topics that's going to go forth. I'm excited about it. And then those are in the Racine Kenosha area. On December the 9th, I will be at Baker Street Restaurant for a meet and greet. Come out and meet your next lieutenant governor, because I am your next lieutenant governor. Come on out and hit me with your best questions. Talk to me. Come out and support, because this fight is real, and it's about all of our freedom. It's about our education system. It's about all these mandates. It's about restarting the economy to get it going where it needs to be. It's about restoring parents' rights. It's everything that deals with our life. So we want you to come out, and we want you to join us on the 9th. And so if you're in Black River Falls area, excuse me, if you're in the Black River Falls area, I will be in Black River Falls on Saturday. So come on out and join us in Black River Falls as well. I'm excited what God is doing. I'm excited about the campaign. I'm excited about the people that he is connecting me with. I'm excited about the people that's on our team. I'm just excited what God is doing. And then on December 10th, we are in Sheboygan. I was disrespected by the Department of Education today about having no rights. And then, amen, Brock, I'm excited too. And Brock Maddock is one. Thank you, Mary. I need that vote. Brock is one of the speakers in Sheboygan. We will be in Sheboygan on December 10th. And then on December 17th, we are in Manitowoc. And then we take our break for Christmas. But we all through the winter, we will be having I'll see you Friday, Mary. Thank you. We will be having a show every week. We're going to be consistent on our show every week, different topics, different things. Maybe I can get Brock to be on the show. I would love to have him come and talk about the Patriots and the unity of the Patriots on next week, if he don't mind being there. Mary, you're going to be there on the 17th in Manitowoc? So I'm looking forward to having Brock on and a couple of more Patriots on. So you guys, I thank you guys. I love you guys. I thank you for all the support that you guys have given me. And so let's come together and let's make Tony Evers a one-term governor, and let us. I'm going, Kat. I'm going now. And let us put God back in our government. How do we put God back in government? We have to put godly men and women back in office so we can put God back in government. All right? I love you guys. I am Dr. David King, and I am your next Lieutenant Governor. Talk to you soon. God bless.